Hi, hello, and if you're just joining, this is Midday Discuss, and we're about to have the second conversation around innovations and technology. We'll be starting breaking down the issues shaping our world today. Technology is moving faster than ever, from artificial intelligence to genetic engineering, blockchain to autonomous vehicles, and but with every innovation comes with the question, just because we can. So should we? Yes, we can ask this question. Today we are asking, how do we balance promise of emerging technology with responsibilities to use them ethically? So emerging technologies hold immense potential to solve big challenges, curing diseases, improving connectivities, and driving economic growth. But without clear ethical guidelines, we risk creating tools that could invade privacy, worsen inequality, or even cause harm to the general public and all. Joining me live to have this conversation is SULEIMAN, ISAH, Commissioner of Information Communication Technology. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of Midday Discuss.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so balancing progress, and next, looking at it now, looking at the tech world generally and innovations on how the speed of light, how things are moving. How well do you think individuals can be able to balance this progress and the risks attached to it?
Okay, balancing the progress and the attached risks is something we have to look at, especially for the upcoming generation. For example, a lot of people, if you ask them since when has ChatGPT been in vogue, they'll tell you 5-10 years. But actually, ChatGPT just became public in 2023. So you can see how our lives have overly depended on it within a short time. But then another issue about balancing it is most of these generative AI tools work based on data they've been trained on. So what is being fed to them is what they will now feed to others. So you talk of the upcoming generation that rely heavily on it now. With manipulation and code, they will now be relying on information that is not accurate. For example, you are asking ChatGPT about something in Nigeria, but somebody in China trained it about Nigeria. So how do you correct that? That's why we need to embrace them rather than avoid them. So a lot of people are afraid of AI. Instead of everybody to embrace it and start working with it and let's see how we can collectively improve it to help our lives. So I feel emerging technologies are things we have to embrace, not run away from or be afraid of.
Okay, in terms of embracing them, like you rightly mentioned about China, someone in China being controlling and sometimes putting out wrong information about the current realities of things happening. So how can the next generation now get into adaptation and see how they can be able to navigate that, based on the fact that you have a boot camp for kids coming up shortly?
Okay, so it's not just about the next generation. The current generation, we need to save the data, the information. You have growing up things like Magana Jariche, Tales by Moonlight. All those stories, if you search for them online today, they are gone. So we have the current generation needs to collate all those data available and then now use that to train artificial intelligence models, so that way the upcoming generation would be able to adapt. So the training we are doing for children in my state this holiday is every third term holiday, that is the longest vacation, we do training boot camps for children. So we teach them robotics, Python programming, Scratch, and the basic computer appreciation. The reason we do that is so that they are not afraid of tech. And if you look at Nigeria currently, tech is one of the areas that you don't actually need a university degree to start into it. So it has become a vocation. So now technical colleges and all that are dwindling. But if you now start boot camps and introduce children to all this, you now start having a generation that is not afraid of technology, and they will become self-reliant using the skills they learn for technology.
Okay. We should be held accountable. Obviously, let's look at accountability and transparency. As this camp is coming up now, obviously you would also want to train these kids on how to be accountable and transparent. So in the long run now, how do you think and that can be sustainable? Is there a system that keeps tabs of what these kids do and also help them develop more?
Okay, one thing with technology is you don't try and be too restrictive, because it's when you restrict someone that he actually, the level of information that is available globally now, it's on the internet, is, how will I say, unquantifiable. So trying to mold them, you are killing their creativity. So all what we do is to guide them properly. For example, what's the difference between an ethical hacker and a Yahoo boy? They both have the same skills, but it's now a matter of choice and matter of resources. So by training them early and giving them this ethics and then giving them a means of sustenance and livelihood. For example, if a 10-year-old now can learn how to develop a game and have it on the App Store, and he's making a couple of $100 since when he's 10. Already he's getting money to pay for his university education. So at the end of the day, he wouldn't need to go into crime. But if he had learned that outside the system, then now with an external influence that you can use that skill to do X, Y, Z, then that same skill becomes a weapon. So part of the curriculum is definitely internet safety and cybersecurity awareness for the children also. So just trying to mold them to be ethical.
Okay. Yes. Okay, let's look at social and cultural impacts now, and how, looking at our African society and how the adaptation of technology has been. Okay, over the years now, the adaptation has been on a reasonable pace. Now, looking at it now on how parents handle situations like this, how might the emerging technologies widen the gap between the rich, poor, between rich and poor countries and also communities?
Well, for technology, to be honest, especially in our community, our society in Nigeria, the gap between the rich and the poor keeps widening. Because you find the rich, middle class and upper class, when a child is probably 2 years old, already he has an iPad.
Yes.
So he has that exposure. While you have, part of the reasons why we're having a lot of jam failure these days is some people actually know the chemistry, physics, and code, but once they see a computer screen, maybe that's the first time in about 18 years of their lifetime to touch a computer. So they are afraid of that unknown.
Computer-based.
Yes, so they can't do the CBTs. Because of that, they will fail the exam. So you see that gap is being created. So that's part of why we as a government have now decided, okay, let's start even introducing these children to computers and all that. Then for parents, some parents in the lower class, when a child says, I want to go to a computer school, for example, or a cyber cafe to learn something, what will you use it for? The fear of unknown. They don't know what it's all about. So that's why a lot of change management needs to be done.
Just like when you see a child back during our years and you say you want to play football, they'll say, go and read your book.
Go and read. But how much is a footballer's transfer fee? Now, with technology now, you just have one app and you are making nothing less than $100 a day, for example. Which white-collar job would pay that for you? So that advocacy needs to be done a lot.
Okay, let's look at cultural values and influence now on how society adopts or rejects new technology. Yes.
So like I said, the whole issue of cultural norms, again, is another issue. You have because we are we are importing technology. We are not building our local technology. So even our mother tongue is fading away. But if we had embraced technology for cultural purpose, nothing stops a child from nothing stops somebody from developing an app or an AI model that will teach our children Bagi, TV, our local dialects.
Yes.
And that way we are sustaining our culture. Today, how many apps would you go that you can change the language from English to Hausa or Yoruba?
Yes.
So all that divide, we're the ones creating it because we're afraid of embracing it. But if we embrace it and manipulate it to suit us, it would actually help our culture rather than alienate the culture.
All right, looking at that now, because that's actually the future of, you know, the society, and children are very, very key to the next generation. So how consistent do you think this boot camp for kids would run?
Okay, so for now, our ministry was created in 2023, so we are just a new ministry in Niger State. So we had the first boot camp in 2024 with just 45 children.
Okay.
Well, this year we are having with 2,000 children, but so that's the wide leap, and we only do it during the third term vacation season. It's the longest.
Yes.
So, but going forward, what we now want to do, Niger State has 25 local governments.
Yes.
If we can set up one computer training center with at least 20 computer systems in each of those local governments, then we can now start doing weekend programs.
Yes.
So we do a schedule. So even before you write your jam, just come and play with the computer. If you spoil it, it doesn't cost much to fix.
Yeah.
But at least that confidence is being built. In that generation. So after this experimental phase of 2000, we would now see how we would now move it so it will become maybe a quarterly or monthly activity.
Okay. All right, Honorable Commissioner SULEIMAN, Commissioner of Information and Technology of Niger State, we want to say a very big thank you for taking our time to join us on Midday Discuss.
You're welcome.
All right, this is how much time will permit us to take on today's conversation on Midday Discuss. My name is Samuel Odi, and I'll see you again as we discuss further. Bye for now.